In James Duane's book, Right to Remain Innocent, his purpose is to inform us on why it's better to not talk to a police officer. When speaking to an officer, you can put yourself in a far worse situation, or get you in trouble for something that you haven't done. Duane gives many examples on why it's better to avoid talking to an officer, but these two really stood out to me. One of the cases took place in Texas and involved a police officer making a suspect talk after falsely promising the suspect that they would just be using him as a witness. The officer made the suspect confess to a case, and the suspect was later sentenced to life in prison. In cases like this, an officer can manipulate the situation to their advantage and turn your words against you. In another case, a suspect agreed to let FBI agents record him making statements that were later used against him. Even though those agents had given him promises of immunity, those promises were later broken by the agents and by the Department of Justice. We can see that talking to an officer doesn't benefit you, but instead make your situation worse. Throughout the book, Duane gives many reasons why you shouldn't talk to an officer, but these 8 stood out to me. Number 1, the officer is only human. They can't know everything and they can only assume things based off the things that they know. Number 2, officers are legally permitted to lie to you. They will say whatever they want to bend the conversation into their favor. Number 3, they can take bits of your information and use it to their advantage. Number 4, you may slip up and say something wrong and that can incriminate yourself. Number 5, everything you say to an officer is being recorded. Number 6, you can place yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Number 7, all of us are constantly making assumptions and deductions based upon things our interlocutors do not actually say. Number 8, even when you try to express yourself rather directly and forcefully when talking to the police, you may become the tragic victim of the ambiguity in your unarticulated punctuation. I believe that at the end of the day, officers are there to maintain order and security. But Duane's advice is right. You can get into serious trouble when speaking to an officer. I have personally never had an encounter with an officer, but after reading this book, it taught me to be cautious and only answer the questions required by law to give to the officer.